Hey guys, welcome back to another Spy Family Sunday. And for everybody out there, I just want to wish you a happy Mother's Day, and I hope today brings you happiness and joy. So today I'm here to review chapter 116 of Spy Family, and oh my god, this chapter was so good on so many levels. It's like Indo heard my prayers, and he was like, sure, let me give you a Yor arc. And I know it's Yor and Red Garden, but I love it. So if you're new here, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Drop me a comment because I do like discussing the videos after I post. So the chapter starts off with Yor, Hemlock, and the director. They're driving in a Jeep. They're in the middle of the forest and the mission has begun. And so they're driving through the forest and Yor's like, oh, what a majestic forest. It's so nice out here. The director says it's a demilitarized zone and there's not going to be anybody out here. Hemlock is confirmed to be male, so we have that. He's sitting in the back and he looks displeased, and he's like, well, besides all of this, like, we see a panel of him and there's a hawk on his head that's like pecking him and cawing and like looking around, and he's like, what is this thing and can I kill it? And the director's like, no, that's my pet. She's gonna be doing some scouting for us and she's really cute. And so Yor is she's like moved by this. She's like, oh my god, director, I didn't know you had a pet. And Yor is like, we have a dog and his name is Bond. And Hemlock is like, so it looks like home life has really domesticated you. I don't know why you were even asked to go out on this mission, suggesting that Yor has gotten soft. And Yor's like, no, on the contrary, I've actually doubled down. But in her mind, she's going hard to protect her family. And we get that flashback panel of when she was fighting on the cruise arc, trying to protect another family. And so it's good to know where Yor's mind is, because we have not seen her on the mission in a while. And we all remember during the cruise arc, she was considering not doing this anymore because she doesn't have to take care of Yuri anymore. But it seems to have furthered her resolve to dig deep. So I'm glad we mentally know where Yor is. She's not soft, she's not rusty, and if anything, she's going hard because she has a family to protect. And so they're all talking about just small talk, which is pretty cool. I like that, they're being pretty casual around each other. The director actually mentions that he's married, so we have some new information on him. Apparently he's been married for a while. He's like, we live a totally normal, domesticated life. I have a controlling wife. And Yor's like, oh my god, like, she must be a strong woman to be able to beat you into submission. Yor sort of like is looking a little cautiously, and she's like, so can I ask you a question? And she's like, is it normal to kiss your spouse like when you come home? And he's like, in our younger days, I suppose. And Hemlock is like, why are we having this inappropriate conversation? And it almost looks like he's blushing, and Yor's just thinking to herself, okay, so it is totally normal to like kiss your spouse, like that's not inappropriate. Hemlock is not having any of this. He's like, can we please talk about something else? Suddenly the director's hawk like flies off of Hemlock's head, and he's looking around, and the director decides to park, and he's like, okay, let's get out and let's go on foot. And so they are basically jumping from like tree to tree. And Yor is wearing this like really cute like Red Garden like military outfit with like a beret. It's so cute. I love this outfit on her. She looks so good. I cannot wait until this is animated. I will probably use this panel as my thumbnail so you guys can like see what she looks like, but it looks awesome. And so they're hopping through the forest because they're tracking the deer on foot. And Hemlock is like, so just to be clear, we're allowed to, kill people on this mission. And the director is like, sure, we're here to protect the deer, the poachers, mainly just the poachers. Hemlock is sort of obsessed with this idea, and, he's like, in other words, it's okay to kill everyone, which sort of gives you an idea of like where Hemlock's head is. He seems to be like very bloodthirsty, like he's just here to kill. I don't even think he's really concerned about the deer as long as he gets to stab somebody. And you get this really haunting panel. He just looks kind of crazy, and he's goading Yor. He's like, hey, how about we make this into into a game, see which one of us kills more poachers. And Yor's like, I don't really play games like that, so no thank you. And then he calls her a coward. He's like, you're a coward. I should have figured like you wouldn't, he's not able to finish his thought because Yor finds antlers on the ground, and she's sort of worried. She's like, oh no, we're too late. They've already killed all the deer. The director goes on to tell her that it's normal for especially males to shed their antlers, and they're actually on the trail of these elk, so they're not too far behind. Hemlock jumps down from a tree, and he's like, well, this is what we should really be paying attention to. There's tracks on the ground. Human, obviously, they look like boots. And so they're looking around, and the eagle that the director has is up in the sky, and he's sort of like, he's circling, and Yor comes up on a different tree, and she's like, director? And, director's like, quiet. And so they're looking around, and they come upon one of these elk, and it's massive. It's a massive elk. Very majestic looking. And then Hemlock randomly breaks off a piece of a branch and like throws it near the deer to startle it, and it runs off, and Yor's like, what are you doing? And he's like, well, there's a trap there and I didn't want the deer to run into it. And once they figure out the poachers are responsible for setting this trap, they hear a gunshot off into the distance, and we see that the elk is running and these poachers are like close on its rear. A couple of them end up shooting the deer. It turns around, but since it's so huge, it like attacks them and ends up gouging one of the poachers, and I'm assuming kills this guy. And so they're like, damn it, the guns aren't working. Let's go back and get, machine guns. Hemlock cuts these guys down. No hesitation. And his sword, it looks like a cane, but it's a sword within a cane. And so he just straight up decapitates these dudes, and the panel is pretty bloody. Like, I was like, yo. I mean, I'm used to the violence in Spy Family, obviously, but it has been a while since we've seen people just get straight up murked. And so he decapitates them. One of the poachers is like, who the hell? And then Yor ends up stabbing and killing this guy, and there's a shit ton of blood that sprays everywhere after she kills him. And Hemlock is just high on this, and he tries throwing daggers at two of the remaining poachers before they run away. The director shoots one of them and deflects the blade out of the way so that one of the poachers can get away, and Hemlock's, what are you doing? Like, why did you stop me from killing him? The director sensibly says, well, we need to be able to track these guys. We gotta have one of them to follow. Hemlock is like, okay, I guess. Yor is sort of trying to calm the deer down. She's like jumping up in the air, and she's like, I can't control this thing, it's too big. And the director is like, okay, you guys stay here and try to calm the deer down. I am going to track the remaining poacher. And Hemlock is suggesting that, you know what, why don't we just kill this thing, because it's impeding our mission. And director's like, no, we're here to protect them and get the poacher. And if you kill one of them, I will definitely let Shopkeeper know. And so Shopkeeper, I guess, is somebody that Hemlock really respects and like doesn't want to get on the bad side of. I mean, honestly, I don't blame him, because Shopkeeper is scary. Like, we've only seen him attack Yor once, but the vibes with him, it just feels like, yeah, you're not one to mess with. So I can sort of understand like why he wouldn't want to get on Shopkeeper's bad side. And so the director goes off by himself. Yor is sort of like, come here, like, let's go this way. Let's get you some water, and then maybe you'll calm down. Hemlock throws a dagger, and it like barely misses Yor's neck. And she turns around, she's like, what are you doing? Hemlock is like, I will not suffer impediments in my work. And Hemlock is like, well, the director specifically told me not to harm the elk. However, he did not say I couldn't harm you. And so we get this really haunting panel, and he's coming towards Yor, like with his sword drawn, and of course he refers to her as like Thorn Princess. And so I don't know what Hemlock's problem is, but he wants to go toe to toe with Yor. I don't know if they were raised during the same time and like he's jealous of her. I don't know what it is, but his ego is driving him to need to compete with Yor, or like take her out as like competition, I guess, for Shopkeeper. And so like that's how the chapter ends. So it's setting up this battle between both of them, and I don't know how I feel about this. On one hand, sure, like let's compare strengths, but Yor is part of the organization just like Hemlock. So this let me challenge you, let me see how strong you are thing is absolutely not necessary. Now, I mean, the fight's gonna be amazing. Like, let's just make that clear. The fight is going to be amazing, especially if Hemlock is legitimately coming after Yor, as in, like, I'm trying to kill you. Yor is not gonna be taken down that easily. So I don't know if this is like a short introduction to Hemlock and he's just going to push Yor to the point of her having to kill him, or if this is just going to be a friendly spat. But the next chapter is going to be amazing. This chapter was amazing. I have missed the blood and the gore and the action, and I have missed Yor being in action. And I am so happy Endo decided to give us another arc with Yor. Hopefully this is a long arc. I don't want it to wrap up too quickly. I really want to see her work. I really want to see her be challenged. I really want to see her working with other people, and I really want to learn more about Red Garden. So, very excited. Amazing chapter. I cannot wait for the next one. And until next time, remember to be awesome and stay true.